was always on a conference call, and I would go from one conference call to the next conference call, or I was traveling, and so I really missed that people interaction, because where I get kind of my, I guess, energy is to be around people. Yeah.
What other questions do y'all have?
This is not really based off the bank, but are you from Long Beach? Like, have you always lived here?
No, so I'm actually from Marshall. So I graduated in Marshall. I'm sorry. And that's why my kids went to Harlton, because I didn't want them to go to Marshall either. But I actually grew up in Georgia, and we moved here when I was in the 4th grade. My parents got a divorce, and so I've pretty much been here ever since.
You just look so
Familiar. So I get that all the time, that I just have a familiar face and people think they know me. And I even had one guy that like bumped into me at the grocery store one day, like with his buggy, and I was like, okay, well that was just a mistake. And then he bumped into me again, and I was like, okay. And then he gave me a big hug, and I was like, okay. And so he thought I was somebody that he knew, and it wasn't. I just played along.
Haven't you and your husband, y'all started dating when you were how?
And I was in the 10th grade.
Yes, because her mother-in-law said something about her one day, and her mother-in-law said, oh, she's mine. I've had her since she was 16 or something.
15 years old when my husband and I started dating, so we were high school sweethearts. He was a year older than me, so he graduated the year before me, and I got married 2 years after I graduated from high school, so we've been married, it'll be 28 years this year.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and we had 2 boys. We had, my oldest son was killed in a car wreck a couple of years ago, so that was really hard, and Miss Angel knows, she went through that with us. And then my youngest son, so he was 19 when he died, and then my youngest son will be 20 in May, and he's in his 2nd year at the University of Monroe in Louisiana. He's doing construction management, and every time he goes to a construction class, he's like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I like this. So I'm like, oh, well, learn how to do that, and then you can come home and do it at our house. And he's like,
And he went to, y'all know that Gunner's going to change colleges after this year. You know, I made him commit to a year before he left, and Will as well went to UT Arlington,
Yes.
and did not like it there. And he's changed to ULM, and he's happy there. And
Yeah.
so, you know, don't get too overly stressed on like, this isn't a marriage to a college that's for life, okay? Go, get your classes, and then if you don't like it, you can change at the end of the year or the semester. You don't have to stay there forever. So I think we stressed way too much over picking the right place, and it's okay if it's not the right place. You'll learn, you'll get to experience it, then you can always change later.
Yeah.
But go somewhere, get
Go
training
somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if it's a trade school, or if it's just to get your, kind of your core classes. I mean, I'll tell you that even at the bank where we say that you don't have to have a degree, if you want to keep moving up in the bank, you really do need to have a degree. I mean, if you're happy with being kind of that, the frontline associate, then you can come in and you don't necessarily have to have a degree, but if you want to keep moving in the company, then you need to have some schooling behind you too. I think for me, I've been here long enough that, like I said, it just worked out for me, and then I got my internal training and the experience stood for something. But I would definitely say today that you need to have some kind of college behind you.
So if they were thinking of going into something like that with like a finance degree. Is that what you would
Or
suggest?
even business.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would strongly recommend like project management. That's really a great field to be in. We've moved to what they call an agile environment. So everything is built on a project and a timeline. So if we're going to develop something and we want to change something within the company, then it goes into what we call an agile, and then it's tracked, and they work on sprints, and you do pieces of it until you get done. Like maybe before you would actually have started a project and you worked on it until you finished it. Now they may have like 10 projects going at the same time, and so you have to do pieces of it along the way. So that'd be a good area to focus on too.
If you work at a bank, business hours would be.
Yes. They are fantastic.
Good.
They are 9 to 5 now, and on Saturday is 9 to 1. And I get to work remotely sometimes, so I can even work from home. I felt really guilty about working from home for a while, but I don't feel so guilty anymore. I kind of like it, so that's always a good perk too.
What else? Are y'all interested? I see some perked interests, I think. Yeah.
Hey, what? There's something.
Well, if we think of more questions too, I'm sure Miss Shannon would be happy to answer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just let me know.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for the invite. I'm glad I
Oh,
got
we're
to
so
come
thankful.
talk.